Kiwi Yarns with Brodie Kane.
Kia ora Stefano and welcome to Kiwi Yarns. Today's guests are probably one of the most delightful public bromances / work husbands here in Aotearoa, Reeve and Duncan Heyde, aka Jay and Dunc, with a stonking radio show. Oh, that's very cute. And the Arvo on the Rock, a podcast for all the naughty shit that can't go on the radio, suitably called Not for Radio. These two great pals are also husbands. Not husbands with each other, but husbands to beautiful other women. Dads, generally just keen at giving life a good nudge. Jay and Dunc, welcome to Kiwi Yarns.
Yeah, fuck, we give it a nudge, eh?
Now,
This is magic.
Was there coordination here? I missed the memo. Apologies. What?
We're at that point in our relationship, both professionally and emotionally, where we finish each other's sentences and wear the same clothes.
It's like a sinking in a household of girls.
Yeah.
Geez, even that was quite good. I love it. Now we look.
Your sentence just as you were saying it. Oh God.
We don't look here at Kiwi Yarns. It's always a special time when it is a duo. So you're very lucky, and I'm glad that we were able to find this couch, replace one of these.
Yeah.
A genuine "How are you?" is how we always start.
I'm perpetually late, and you experience that on the way here. So I have the best intentions to be places on time, but I have zero ability to factor in any travel. So if you were to look at my diary,
Which is
it goes...
Well, you live in Auckland. That is terrible.
It goes like 6:30 to 7, 7:30 to 8, 7, like so on and so forth. Zero travel time in between it, but all of those appointments are in different parts of the city or country. So apologies for being late.
But that was so. How are you though?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a very exciting time in my life. Outside of what we do in broadcasting and podcasting, I have this innate ability to find opportunities that aren't probably opportunities, but I see them as opportunities, and that's how I translate them into my brain as something that's an opportunity. But what it ends up being is just a distraction, and just lets my little undiagnosed ADHD brain run around without any form of Ritalin to smack it into line.
Have you tried the Ritalin?
Nah, I haven't been on the
He's
Ritz.
had a sheet sitting there.
Yeah, I don't know what's gone though.
And I'm like, come on, mate, because I reckon he would benefit from it.
Well, it's a surefire way to figure out whether you are or not.
I think he is.
Yeah.
As soon as we started talking about it on air at one time, the text machine just lit up, and they were like, even by listening, I know you are, bro.
Yeah.
And
So in terms of the pillars of my life, the most important one is my family, and so I've got a beautiful wife and two beautiful sons that just turned 12 this week, which is pretty crazy. And then we moved into a new house, which is another phase in life. And then in radio, we are at the beginning of a 3-year contract that we've just signed, which is something that we've worked hard for 7 years. The podcast is in a growth phase that we never ever expected that it would be in, and we've broken ground on the Wave Park, which is probably the thing that I'm most excited about. Powers is about to have our 7th party, which in itself is fuck.
Crazy,
Dunk was there when we were doing the first testing of the first flavours, and we've launched Frankie's, and we just this week launched a new flavour of Frankie's, which is the subsidiary of Powers. So there's a lot going on, but it's all really, really great stuff. I don't have a nut the size of a mango. I take that as a win.
Oh man, can we get into that later?
Yes. We'll get into it now. Well, actually, can you just answer how are you?
I'm really good. I'm probably the best I've been in a long time. Yeah, I'm back in the gym, which is, I reckon...
You could tell.
Well, not yet.
He was going to wear a singlet, but we opted to go with the flannel. Looked like a couple of tablecloths. Bit of Christmas wrapping.
I reckon I haven't had capacity to exercise for probably 7 years since the kids arrived, so it's been a nice change. So I'm only a couple of weeks into it, but mentally I feel fitter from it more than anything, than the body. Yeah. Family's really good. We've just relocated. We were in Glenfield before and finished a really long 4-year reno, which was quite difficult to do with young kids. I had to pause in the middle because it was just too much.
Yeah.
Not enough progress. But now we're up in Orewa. We're in a new build, so I'm chucked out half my tools and just enjoying beach life. The kids are in nippers now, which is awesome. They've just signed up to Silverdale, which is the biggest rugby club in the country. And they're going to be doing football on Friday night. So And Dixie just finished up working. She's taken a break from working so she can focus on the kids a little bit more too, because it felt like that was getting away on us. But now, really good. After a great summer break. Really good.
Hey, how are you?
Well, no, okay. I'm in a state of running around. I call myself like when I'm running around like a blue ass fly.
Yes.
Joys of being self-employed and going through cycles of chaos. And I've had a lot of new things start this year. And actually not just this year. There's a new partnership with the podcast. There's a new podcast. I have a new manager. I've got a relatively new boyfriend that's long distance.
Yes.
I've been gallivanting around still where possible because I've got the zest for life that you have.
Yeah.
And so, but at the moment I'm like, mate, you need to slow that brain down. So I need to slow the brain down. I've identified that though.
What we suggested, this is before microphones coming on, but is well worth mentioning.
Yes.
Richard Koch's 80-20 Principles book is one of the greatest reads, which was transformational for myself and probably Dunc. Because Dunc's so the way that our partnership works, and this is the way I see it, is Dunc is he is the formula, he knows how to fucking sift gold out of rubble. And I just throw rubble. And so as a result of that, he can put in any facet of life. He is really great at doing this. So he can find the 20% of the gold out of the 100 that I throw him, and that's why the partnership works. But for me, I just see everything as awesome, and so I need people like Dunc and my wife in my life to be able to really sift through the shit. And 80-20 is a great way of it's a very old Pareto's theorem of. He's an old economist and politician from Italian economist and politician. It's just a great, great book. And the other thing that I've found for my wildly busy brain is having deer milk tablets at night. So Doze, which is a good friend, you probably know Rebecca Ree?
Yes.
Ree, yeah, so Ree's family business, they own this huge, huge deer farm in the South Island. They milk the deer and they powderize it. And for whatever reason, when they're trying to find a beauty solution out of deer milk with the peptides, I have these Doze tablets, and my brain is literally like monkeys throwing shit at each other and smashing symbols in it.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that knocks me out. And I have the best sleeps, the most restorative sleeps, and have dreams like I'm hallucinating on acid, which is once again something I enjoy.
Have you seen them milk the deer?
Nah, but they've only got two.
Oh, my mum went there too.
I was like, because like being a Kiwi, you go like milking something, enormous udders, huge nips, like on a cow. But it feels like quite it must be quite delicate.
Well, they've got, from what I can gather, having never milked a deer myself, but growing up on a dairy farm, you cup them just like you normally would.
You've got mini cups.
Yeah, so they basically throw 2 cups on and then they milk these things. It's not like the cat milking, Ben Stiller sort of setup, but you cup these bad boys and then you milk them. But they obviously are left with their fawns, so their fawns get the initial feed and that takes the colostrum out of it, and then they go in and milk them. But they've got this massive milking herd, and the only one's independent. So the government owns a deer milking business, and they're the only other people that milk deer outside of the government.
Wow.
That's on my list of things to Google today. I've just never seen it.
No,
I think it's Peel Forest Station. It's signposted when you're driving to like Wanaka or like whatever. It's massive, huge station. Like 25,000 stock units on it or something. It's huge.
Is it so? Do you have the monkey in your brain as well? Oh, good
Nah.
No, not to the same. And that's probably why this maybe works too.
Oh yeah, Jay's. I always say Jay's big picture. Like he'll work on like
zero detail, real zoomed
the
out.
pie is always in the sky, and I will do the detail.
Yeah.
Like I will make sense of everything, and he'll also work on stuff that in the future that I have no appetite to do. He's a great connector of people, networker, and we are probably just the yin to each other's yang, really, for the most part. Everything that he hates doing, I don't mind doing, vice versa.
I feel like you're the calming.
Oh, he needs it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen Dunc in 7 years. I've seen him irritated to the point where you would consider it angry. Once, probably twice, maybe at a stretch, like less than a handful. On a weekly basis, he gets that 10 times, like from me, like desk
Not quite
smashing
that many.
and chair kicking and fuck this and fuck that guy and fuck him.
Nah,
I'm very nuclear.
You've got a lot better.
Dunk's Switzerland. I'm a little bit more North Korea,
But do you find that does help you? Like, I mean, you can you can have your deer milk, you can read your 80-20, but do you actually sometimes think actually the guy that I spend a lot of time with is something that's actually a big help to the monkey and the brain?
Yeah, and Anna acknowledges it as well, because Anna will tell they're very similar minded in the way that they operate, except for probably the way that they spend money. I'm not saying who likes to spend more.
No.
You can make
We
your
all
own,
know.
You can make your
How
own
many
assumptions.
designer handbags do I own?
Yeah,
Donut.
You can make your assumptions from that, but they are very methodical in the way that they approach things, and they're very good at managing me, because I need management. Basically, and I operate best when I'm managed well. Like, I would say that I'm, if I was to liken myself to a vehicle, I'm like a top fuel dragster that just fucking grenades itself on a daily basis and needs a great team to rebuild it every day. Because you can't just run it the same thing over and over and over and over again. Yeah, it just gets, to me, that's boring. I just need explosive energy. And so I've just got a great team that get the best out of me. And if they're not there, like,
Capitulate.
I don't do the show without Dunk. So when we're finished doing a show, if Dunk says tomorrow I'm not doing a show, I'm not doing a show tomorrow, and that's me done.
Jay
I'm happy with
literally
that.
would just not walk in again.
Yeah, I just would. Yeah, happily, and also not happily walk in again. Like, it'd be like, cool, but same with if Anna was to leave me, I'd be poked. I'd be starving to death with no undies on, and I wouldn't know who even has. I don't even know what bank we're with. Like, that's my level of operation. Yeah.
I love that.
I just found my wallet
And
in my pocket.
we did witness this. To be fair, you just did find that in there.
Yeah. And I found some chewing gum in this pocket. I was like, this is
It's
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You guys just talked about, obviously, you've signed a 3-year contract, which in the radio game is really, really significant. And then also this, I want to say, like, not accidental, but this kind of huge, pretty quick, not for radio success. A lot of it is you've got this massive audience overseas. You've both been in the game a fair while, but sort of 7 years together, it's still like that's still kind of newish in some radio relationships. Is there is this all part of the plan though? Like, because ultimately, right, it's kind of a depressing thought to think that we are all replaceable. But do you guys actively think that you are trying to build something so whereby you are not
We
replaceable?
talked about doing that podcast like 5 years ago. I think we've been doing it maybe even longer. Like, the plan for the radio show and everything that the radio show is now and the stuff we're doing now, we talked about almost on our first meeting. And we were very aligned, like very quickly.
And
we were
like
this will work.
Prior to that meeting, we'd met once where I handed him tickets out the window of a car.
So,
And
so
it was
that was
full
the first
arranged
time-
marriage.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what? Because that's crazy, and that's something
Totally.
that is quite like I can often be quite critical of jamming people into roles.
Yeah.
But gosh, they nailed that one, didn't they?
Well,
Absolutely.
I probably called like 5 or 6 people that I knew Jay, like either relatively well or I'd known that Jay had been, out partying with or whatever, and not
Very small number of people.
not a single one of them had a bad word to say about him. So I was like, well, that's a calculated gamble, and by Jesus, it's paid off.
I think that's probably where Dunk doesn't get enough credit, because it's not something he's not known as a guy to toot his own horn. So that's basically, I'm not going to say I'm tooting his horn because that sounds fucked, but somebody that can highlight the skill set that he has. So everything that we've done is by design, by like the way that I look at it. I'm big on the. I'm a cash guy. I want to make businesses. That's my focus. So when I look at it and I go, this is how much money is available in the New Zealand radio market, and no matter how many ways you chop it, that's all you're going to ever be able to have a slice of. But if you've got a domestic product which is created domestically at a lower cost than anything else, and you have access to international funds, that's where you're going to make some money. So we've got an audience of 5 million in New Zealand, but globally there's 86 billion people or whatever the number is around the world that could be potentially listening to us. So if you focus on being big in New Zealand, you will literally be a medium-sized fish in a fuck all pond. Whereas if you are a tiny fish in an international market, you would absolutely gobble the entire country in one fell swoop. And that's the way that I think. And then I go, that's what I want to do. And Dunk goes, well, this is how we build audience. This is how we it's no mistake that we have shared language and that we refer to people in certain ways and we have a standard in which our war stories come in at. Like, all of that stuff sounds like just a couple of fucking lads, you know, but that's Dunc's design and audio design brain, and he knows what will keep people there and he knows what will build an audience. And that's where I sit back and I go, man, that's cool. And then I go, well, how can I attach some cash to that? How can I plug in some finances in and around it so we make money? And my whole model is, I want to get stuff that's paid for so that I don't have to pay for it myself and I can, you know, spend my money on what I want to spend it on, which is dumb shit trying to buy castles in Wales.
Wow. This is more about Anna.
Yeah, well, this is funding it, and this is
Just to keep Anna running.
this is you know, I took her top fuel dragsters. She's like a super yacht, you know. Hardly ever used, real punchy.
But that's a good example of what we talked about before, right? The big picture.
Yeah.
Jay's mind runs away and goes there, and then I guess I kind of put the steps in place on how we're going to get there.
Yeah, but I think as well, Dunk, like for you, this is what I love. You are quite similar, but also extremely different. And so you're up in Orewa, you've been chipping away at a reno, and you know you got the kids, and and there's more. Dare I say it? There's an element more sort of settled to you in your life, and that again is probably where that calming and that you know, and so you probably crave more of the quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as an example, Dunk will crack Dunk will crack the screen on his cell phone and watch 30 YouTube videos and buy the replacement parts from Temu and have a go at it himself. Whereas I'm like, just fucking buy a new one. Like, he is a process guy, and I go, this is how much my time is worth, and it's not worth my time to do that. That's
This guy.
Yes,
No crack screen, eh? There we go, guys. Look at that.
So that is the difference. Like, Dunk will renovate a house. I'll pay someone to renovate the house, so that because I can find another job that will make me more money than I will save in doing that.
Yeah,
that's the way that my brain works. Whereas Dunk comes from a hard-working, like his dad, like my dad, was the everything. Sparky, block layer, builder, concreter, plumber, you name it, can do all that. That my dad dad fixes anything, literally anything, pointlessly for the most part. Just like, he'll spend a day putting tungsten into a toaster when you can go and buy another one for $20. Like, he is a no throwaway guy.
Tungsten into a
Yeah,
toaster.
he's that kind of guy. And Dunk is probably the last of, or very much the last of a generation where he's willing to do that sort of stuff. Whereas I'm like, chuck cash at it, make it go away.
The other thing, though, I want to kind of rip into it's probably quite a generalised description of you both, and so I do hope it lands. Well, there's some pockets of descriptions that I would like to sort of. I mean, assumption
This is always awesome, isn't it?
I mean, like, assumption is the mother of all fuck up. But I know, hey, I actually know.
Well,
before
we are the sons of assumption.
well, before we do that, for some context for people that may not know, I mean, I've known both of you for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is just, I'm just plucking this out of my ass. Did we first meet at your house when you had a big day out do, and I just moved up to Auckland?
Yes, because we had made it was. I think it was through Shelley Arnold, wasn't it?
It would have been through Shelley Arnold.
Yeah.
And I'd recently moved up for my first job, which was at Radio Live, and big day out, Rest at Soul. We had pre-drinks at
That would have
yours
been
in
like
Ponsonby.
2008.
Yeah.
I reckon.
But and I couldn't. This morning. I was in Facebook albums. I couldn't find the photo. There was photos of us at your house, but then it must. Funnily enough, it must have been about the same time that I first met you. And I first met you, Jay, at Rhythm and Vines. And I do believe you might have been working for. It was around the same time. Were you working for MTV or
Yes.
ZM or?
It would have been MTV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I've known
remember
you
that.
guys a long time.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
So.
I do remember that. That was a hell of a New Year's too.
I think it was the first time they went to 3 days.
3 days.
And the big stage went over the hill.
Yeah, and there was a 35,000 strong crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a monster.
It was fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah. So that's to give.
Never done a Rhythm and Vines. Got no interest.
I can utterly understand that, Doug. And I
It was
think
one of the best things.
are.
So once again, I could play Dunk. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like some like Fred Again song or something that everybody, like Talk of the Town, say.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's a well-known track. It's even been put to like memes of that guy punching the windscreen on someone's car in the road rage incident, and like it's awesome. And I play it with Dunk's like, never heard it. Never, ever heard it. I'm like, how he operates in this cone of Dunk, which is just like...
Just know what I like.
Yeah. Just...
But and to be fair, like I haven't heard half the songs we play on the Rock either. I've heard the intros and the outros.
Yeah, true.
Because we just talk the entire time. Like we'll talk when we're on air, and we just carry on talking. So people are like, "Oh, it must be so good to get just to sit there and listen to music." I was like, "No, we just talk absolute rubbish."
We
Love to know.
We debate the merits between the Wake Pro jet ski that Sea-Doo does and the Fish Pro Scout, and what we can actually,
It's been going on for 2 months.
But I mean, okay, but just to give the people, what is your favourite band? What is your favourite music? What is your...
Oh, it's pretty cliche. Favourite band's Foo Fighters. And Metallica would be up there. That gig was really, really good at Eden Park. Like, I'm very much the rock. But in the mornings, like, we'll put on like lots of Australian music. My sisters are in Aussie and they're always sending me bands, so I'll listen to like Tash Sultana and some other bands. I don't know. I'm just a playlist guy.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I don't do dance music, which is probably why we can chat, or pop music. So no dance or pop.
Yeah.
But I'll do like other versions of that, but
Yeah.
nothing that's on the other stations.
No.
It just doesn't interest me whatsoever.
That's okay. So yes, I'll go back to the description.
great start.
Nah, it's good. But so hear me out. So you are both lads, boys, surfing, fishing, motorbikes, DIY, love the boys, but in a very, what I would say, healthy way, and coupled with being girls, lads. You both love your wives. You love women that you work around. I can speak for on my behalf of you always being so supportive of me and anything that I've done. And so I think this kind of needs to be celebrated because in a world where there's a lot of toxicity and unfortunately a lot of that does centre around men.
Probably doesn't need to be celebrated, it just needs to be normalised.
Well, yes, yeah. But no, look, maybe celebrated at this time because we've got to lean into holding on to the good things. So can I ask you both where that comes from? So the ability to be able to be masculine in a really healthy way, and how has that always been? Is it upbringing? Is it friendships? Is it?
I think I know the question you're asking. I think we are both extremely fortunate to have had such great role models in our fathers.
Yes.
Like they're pretty well-rounded humans, and our mothers.
Yes.
But then in the same breath
We
as
also
well,
have two sisters that henpeck the hell out of us.
which is a common. We both have two sisters.
Yeah.
So you get kept in check by them growing up, like massively.
Brilliant.
And then there's just me and Jay. Like I guess the ultimate, like if you're the measure of success, as I think, and now becoming a parent, is are you a better version than what came before you? Like, I think that's when you can go, job done, if you're raising kids or whatever. And me and Jay are always looking for ways for self-improvement. Like, coupled with all that stuff we do, we're like, always, is there a way we can do things better? Is there a more efficient way? And we have like hours and hours of conversations about that stuff. So that probably dovetails into all the lads stuff and probably balances it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I quite happily lie under the stars and look at the stars with my sons, as well as bend for 3 days with my mates. Like it's like I like to straddle the line, or maybe not straddle it, just fishtail like Mad Mike all over it, basically. But I think like, further to what Dunk was saying is we have incredibly strong partners that and they are everything that we do is in partnership with them. I've got friends and people that see everything that they do as separate, and you are always going to be a separate person, but you're building something together, and that's really, really special. So everything that we have is ours that we have achieved together. It's not like I'm bringing all of this and this is mine and this is yours and we've got separate this and separate that. And they, I think, also have a great group. Our wives have great groups of female friends and male friends. So they have their own interests outside of it. They're not just the partner of, they are their own entity, which is, I think, quite important. Like, people lose themselves in each other, and particularly guys. Like, it's a well publicised and published fact that as men, our friend group is at its biggest at 18, and it shrinks over time just to the point of nothing. And if you're unaware of the cycle, you basically go from being in sports teams at the end of high school, and then you go to university, and then you end up hooking up with some chick, and, you know, I'd say 99.9% of the time they're much better looking versions, you know, than you are. And so you want to hang out with this really good looking person, and whatever they do, you do, and then you end up becoming friends with their friends' partners who you don't actually have any real history with. And so you've just got shit small talk, and you don't actually get into the weeds because your mates that you've had your whole life with and experienced all these turbulent teenage times with just kind of go by the wayside, and you catch up from time to time, and then you have kids, and then you become the kid dad, and then you become the sports coach of your kids' teams, and then you become your job and all these other bits and pieces. So it gets quite murky being a man in those 20s to 30s where you're trying to become something and lie to yourself enough to say that you are that job. And then between 30 and 40, which are probably these 20-year blocks that we kind of chunk our time into, I've recently turned 43, and I'm at the point where I just don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. Like, I am me, and I'm completely comfortable with myself, and I've accumulated great friendships and great business partnerships and relationships through business and material things that I need. Like, I don't want for a lot now, and I've got everything that I want. So it's about cherishing that, and it generally, when you go, well, what is it that you're taking out of a house if it's on fire? And it's, I don't know, for me, at least 2 of my kids, and and at most Anna, you know, and the kids. So it's like you quickly realise that none of that shit goes with you, and that we had this awesome example. It's like, in 100 years, your great grandkids won't even know you existed, and the car that you drive would have been crushed and turned into, I don't know, battery casings, or all your surfboards will be sold, and all your stuff will be in a tip, and no one gives a fuck. And so why would you place that much importance on these things now? It seems like, yeah, I've got this and that and the other thing, and probably I've had some pretty enlightening psychedelic experiences which have probably highlighted that more so, which is good to see, because I need to be told those things, because sometimes I get carried away and just go layer upon layer upon layer. Like, Duncan could give you a million examples of me coming in and going, well, you know, that's what they're going to do. They're going to sack us all. And he's like, what? Fucking what? And I'm like, well, they're going to do this, and then that means that this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, and this happens, this happens. So then we're fucked. And he's like, how'd you get there?
If you want the answer, ask the fucking question and go straight to the snake's head.
Yeah.
If it is a snake.
Yeah. Just psychedelic experiences, is there any that you want to share? Like, what do you mean by psychedelic experience?
I've done dimethyltryptamine. I've done Sonoran cane toads, which is basically the spirit molecule where your body has DMT in it, which is what it's more commonly referred to as. And the DMT is what's called the spirit molecule. So when somebody passes away and you see them smiling or they become at peace, that's what your body is flooded with when you die. So you can basically short circuit that experience by either having ayahuasca, which has a very similar, which is a plant-based medicine, but there's also a Sonoran cane toad, which is on the border of Mexico and the States, and they have 8 venomous glands on them, which they can be procured, that venom, and then you basically freebase it, or you can vape it, and you, for 5 minutes, are stripped of everything. It's called a spirit death, where you aren't your job, your missus, your everything, and you learn what it is that you are. And it's a really profound experience.
Okay, so wait, Dunc, I'm just confirming you weren't there for this.
No. But I saw the after effects though.
Yeah.
So
both times, like a massive improvement, and like him sweating this small stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, Jay's brain, like he's mentioned, will just get away on him and goes down this rabbit hole, and he goes whatever it is, a business idea. Conflict at work, it could be stuff with our agent, anything, like, and it just goes, and I'm always like, but like he was just turbocharged a couple of years ago, and that dialed right back, like noticeably, came back, and in the weekend I was like, man, you just are not worried about anything at the moment. He's like, yeah, no, man, it's me.
So that was from the sorry, say it again. The cane toad something or other.
Sonoran, it's a Sonoran toad, basically.
A Sonoran toad.
Yeah, so it's from the Sonora Desert. So these things live underground for 9 months.
Jay went
it's
to where
massively
it was
illegal.
legal.
You can't do it here.
Jay went to where it was legal to take it.
Yeah.
You can't do it in New Zealand, put it that way.
Okay.
And so they basically are underground for 9 months of the year, where the thought processing behind Native American Indians, which were the ones that discovered this, it's like a peyote flower sort of experience as well, where they absorb the vibrations of the earth and what's going on, and then they turn it into this basically a venom, which is basically them purging it out of their system, which we can then pick up that information by having it.
And so 5 minutes of your...
So 5 minutes you lie there with a massive smile on your face and you're whistling through space and time with this amazing kaleidoscopic colour. Like I sit here now and I look around and this is like 70% of the saturation of what these actual colours are. Like the blackest of blacks and the brightest of brights, because your brain can't operate at that level all the time or it would just fry itself.
Yeah.
But for this short period of time, you basically just get 4K, all the breaks cut, just absolutely everything for what it is.
A lot of people use it to like undo trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so like do a lot of mental unpacking, and then just free you up to really figure out A, are you a good person, and B, what is actually important. You know, like we get told by society that a lot of things are important, like material things or whatever, but like, yeah, you just really focus on like...
Yeah, and I felt like I was towing a trailer through life with me and had all of the stuff on it, and they're just like, you don't need that, mate. So then you just like, oh, I feel infinitely lighter.
Can I ask though, and Dunc, you might have an opinion / answer on this as well though, but do you like, I mean, I've known you for a while, and if I think I've got the monkey hurling shit at my brain, you triple it sometimes, but in this like infectious, energetic way. Like, because I'm like yeah, like, if I hang out with Jay, I'm like, oh, let's go, we ride at dawn. You know,
never a truer word spoken.
And we have, and it has been dawn. You know, but do you like? Only because I think I'm a little bit similar, like, but there's cycles, right? So you might say, these are the things that are important to me, but then you're like, but nah, they are, but I still want to do these 85 projects. So
Yep.
It is a bit of a cycle of a constant cycle of self-discovery that you probably witness just as much as Jay goes through.
Yeah, but like, because Jay's so infectious, like it's not like he would ever come in and say something where I would just shut him down straight away. Like, because he's infectious, his delivery's amazing. So you're there for the ride, and I would say 99% of these rabbit holes he goes down, it's a really enjoyable ride to be on with him. But I just check him when he needs to be checked. We're like, all right, mate, pull back on that one. Like, or like classic cases, Jay. We joke about on the radio show that he's the hobbies guy. Like, he will have like 7 new hobbies a year and do each of them once. Or sometimes like he got a Waka Ama like kayak thing, the outrigger canoe thing, and he took it out once and broke it. It cost him $4,500 to fix it, and then he's never used it since.
Yeah. I just built a bracket for it to put it on the side of the house, though,
and so it's sitting
which
on the side
took more time to put on the house than I've actually paddled it.
But it's so like that's so Jay's brain will go down all the rabbit holes, but like it's a time thing, which is what's we were talking about before this started. You got to, if you want more time to do the things that you want to be doing that actually fills your cup, you need to take some stuff off your plate, which is always what I'm at. Like, Jay will turn up to a lot more events and stuff than I do, and I'm just nah, and so that's something that Jay needs to get better at, and I'm always checking him on.
Yeah, that was one of the at the beginning of the year. If you want to pick something up, you've got to put something down, which was a great way of phrasing it, and that made sense in my head. It made sense. Like, if you want to be doing something, like if you don't want to be 110 kilos of shit life decisions, you need to stop making shit life decisions. Like, if you want to be able to get up and go for a run in the morning, you can't be drinking piss at night, which means that you can't be going to functions, which means that you need to be more selective with how you are spending your time. Whereas I'm just like, there's a great video, and I'll send it through to you because it just sums me up. There's an otter, and it has all of these marbles that it's scrambling to try and hold on to. And that's what I am doing all the time. I am the otter.
There's another saying, actually, which is even more simple, that I was like, oh man, ain't that the fucking truth? It's like, if you want to be a runner, fucking run. If you want to be a saver, fucking save.
Yeah.
If you want to be a healthy eater, start fucking eating healthy and keep eating healthy. Then you're a healthy eater. Job done. You
Yeah.
don't ever fucking think it. Do it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, the saying that someone has described me as, but that it's yours as well. Like someone makes a pie, I jam a finger in it. Like, it's just like, And so, they're always
All of Jay's fingers are burnt.
Yeah. No, and they're in there, and it doesn't matter if it's just come out of the oven. You're like, get me in there.
Yeah.
So, it is fascinating. I love it, and I've no doubt we'll go back there. I want to go back a little bit though to these healthy masculine men and raising boys.
Yes.
And raising boys in this world, and learning so much from your dads. Dunk's dad's been on Kiwi Yarns and shared his remarkable story. What are the fundamentally most important things that you are teaching your boys in this world today?
I would say that time is the most precious commodity, so choose who and what you do with it, and treasure the relationships in an era in time where everything is so disposable. Use things and not people, and be more present, because our boys are in an era where you don't need to have a face-to-face conversation. And this is a really threatening place for most people to be in, looking like we're sharing oxytocin at the moment. There is a dopagenic drop that's going on at the moment by sitting with a friend and having a conversation. And they don't get that because they're just getting their little dopamine glands squeezed by video games that are bang and pop and brrr, real noisy. And that's just like all of those things. There's so many distractions. Somebody said that my grandparents wouldn't have had the same inputs going into their brain just by what's in and around them and their surroundings in a year as what our kids would have in a day. And in the space of 2-3 generations, our brains haven't evolved that fast. So in a scrap for time, we make things brighter and louder and busier and more addictive, and swipe this and swipe right and all the rest of it. And I think that our generation, the kids' generation will be the ones that just go, this is fucking too much. We're done, because they're just getting roasted. And I think we've seen that already. Manners are massive for me. We used to say to the boys when they're little, manners make the man, and then they'd finish, you're the man. And so that's like my sons always go up and they look people in the eye and they introduce themselves and they're appreciative. And as a result of that, they're in the school in which they are because people believe in them. And it takes a village to raise a family regardless. And they're very well socialized. They've got great EQ. My boys are neurodivergent, which is a blanket classification of people that think differently. I would say that I'm neurodivergent. I'd say that you're definitely neurodivergent. I'd say that Dunk's neurodivergent. We don't think like fucking robots is what it is. And they are dyslexic, which means that they write when they write things, it looks like they're typing in wingdings. Like it's fucking illegible.
Yeah. But
they're great kids. And Nick Mowbray, who has had lots to do with the boys since they were born, he's the same. So I know when Nick texts me, it makes no sense. But when he voiced to text me, it makes sense. And he said, everybody has a Toyota Corolla in their head, and they're great. They'll get you from A to B. They are the missionary sex of vehicles. Didn't say that to them, but that's, like they get the job done. But what you've got in your head, and lifted up 15 garage doors and had a collection of supercars, he's like, you've got one of these in your head. Much harder to learn how to drive, but when you master them, they are infinitely more fun and will get you where you want to go in style and at pace like nobody else can. And so you will catch up and you will overtake all of these people that you're supposedly behind at the moment. And at that moment, the boys were instantly like, now I'm not the weird kid that can't write in class. I'm that supercar. And it like just those tiny little changes. And you don't get that unless you're surrounded by people that are the same as you or have value standards which are similar to yours, or set expectations, or are examples of testing themselves physically and mentally and taking risks and failing, and like the same person that turns up to a factory job and goes, oh fuck, I fucking hate my job. Like that's not a person I want my kids to be around. Like change your situation or it'll never change. So those are the sort of things that we talk, and we're open and honest. We want our kids to be loving, and it's not like I never had the conversation about the birds and the bees with my dad. Never. I didn't even teach him how to shave. Like, he was farming. He didn't have time for that stuff. And he's like, well, you've been on a farm. Like, you've seen that bull pump that cow and then a calf comes out of it, and that's fucking how it works, mate. Same sort of setup.
I accidentally had that conversation so young. So Dick, we get books out of the library every week.
Yeah.
I think I've read the kids over 3,000 books now. And because it's happened since day dot sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't pick them because Dixie does. That's one of the things that she does every week. And so, but I read to the younger two, and sometimes Frank as well, who's now 8.
Is this like a before bed thing?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I
So
love
it's 4
that.
books for the young boys and 2 chapters for the oldest one. And this was like 2 years ago. So what's Muzz now? 6. He would have been 4. Frank would have been...
Six-ish?
Yeah, about 6 or something like that. And we get it. And it's like a very, I would say, mechanical way of explaining the birds and the bees. Like it's almost like reading like a medical book or something. So I was like, holy shit. I was like, well, we're doing this, are we? But I just decided to read it really calmly and be like, that's just what happens. They're like, you did that. And I was like, 3 times.
Actually,
With a bit of practice as well. And they were like, that's gross. But I just like read it word for word, and so that whole thing's kind of happened already for our kids by accident. And it was just like, it's just a human body, man. It's just a biological thing that humans need to do to reproduce, and they have a bit of fun doing it as well. But yeah, that was way too early than what I thought it was. But it was just a delivery that I just gave like a very matter of fact delivery on it.
I think, and modelling good behaviour, and I apologise whenever I'm wrong. Like,
Same.
And if I'm getting angry, I'm in control of my emotions. Like, nobody goes, hey, you can't be happy, but everyone says you can't be sad and you can't be angry. Well, how can you say that I can be this and I can't be that? Like, the emotional regulation and the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system and the way that it all operates, like, I've got a better understanding of it. I know what brings me up and I know what can calm me down. And so modelling that to my boys, and if I'm angry and they are around me when I'm angry, which is not frequently, but if I'm doing something that they would perceive as angry, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I just wasn't in control of myself. Then that's not, even if they were the supposed cause of that, I'm in control of how I react to every situation, and continually telling them that. And it's like, we make mistakes, but I need you to, when you make mistakes, come to me. And if you get angry, you need to apologise, because people get a little bit scared when you get angry around them, And you can be anything. So be the best part of somebody's day, as opposed to the bit that they don't really want to be around.
Would you say, like, I'm not a parent, so I don't know, but are you your kids' role models?
I fucking hope not.
Well, you have to be.
Or
You're the one that they spend like such an enormous amount of time. Yes, yeah. But like that comes back to that self-improvement thing. Like, what we constantly want to be better, to be the role model for the kids or whatever. Like, I'm forever listening to parenting podcasts like Nathan Wallace or...
He's great.
Oh, yeah. There's another chick out of Australia, Maggie Dent. She's got a podcast called a book called Mothering Our Boys, and she's got an excellent podcast as well. And she just, listening to her is like a hug. There's all these little things I'm always taking and trying to implement in the house. Like, at the moment, it's definitely role modelling calmness in the house, because it probably wasn't as much like we wanted it to be for the last few months, and particularly on the lead up to Dixie finishing work. But it's the same thing as what Jay was saying. It's like, if you need to role model the behaviour you want them to show you, and it's already turned around quite quickly, but like, if you're frustrated or whatever, we'll quite often tell them exactly what's going on, or these are the reasons why I'm frustrated. Well, I'm going to go and take 2 minutes time out, because that's what we would like them to do in the same situation. But they're kids. Being a parent is so gnarly. Like, you can't clock it.
No.
It's like fishing. You'll never clock fishing.
And
like,
also,
you can be at it the entire time. And there's almost 3 different parenting styles. We've got 3 kids. Like, each kid is completely different. And you can say one thing to, for example, Frank, our oldest boy, it'll absolutely land, and he's heard it. And then the middle boy, Murray, who's another kettle of fish, so full of life. Like, he is so good. But you've got to come up from a completely different angle. And it's not the angle that I would like, and so he's different, and you go, oh man, it's hard for me to do that and remember to do that. It's gnarly. It's a big job, and you don't want to raise shit humans.
Well, yeah, and the reason I asked about the role model thing as well, because I then want to ask, Do you, either of you, perceive yourselves, as role models for other men? Have you thought about that with this great job and these great opportunities that you have worked for and created, that there is a space for you to be role models, and don't overthink it. But
I think by default, yes, but we definitely don't think about it.
I would say that we have the ability and time to try a lot of things, and we can be the distillation point to go, this works for us. And that's kind of the filter that we put our show through and our podcast through, is people like us do things like this. People like us treat people this way. People like us like doing this. People like us drive this. People like us drink this. That's, if you like us, then you probably, chances are, and I'd say that we sit there in probably the biggest whack of the bell curve, and that's probably the easiest way of doing it. I think that there's each one teach one, and there's a lot of role modelling that we take. But I think the other thing is too, that I'm really lucky that every single morning I hang out with blokes in their late 50s, early 60s through to almost their 70s, and nothing beats time, and we can, if I say, for example, me and Dunk similar age, if we're in the weeds, kids similar sort of age, if he's asking for advice from me on something that we're both going through at the same time, chances are I know fuck all about it. So if you are around people that are of varying ages, we're surrounded by heaps of young people in the office. Well, what do you think of this? Well, you can't say that in 2026, or maybe you should look at doing this, or don't wear that, or whatever it is. Like, you get that instant feedback, but a lot of people aren't often friends with people in an age bracket. Particularly, it works in 20-year allotments for whatever reason. At 60, you are a completely different person to what you are at 40. You have elements of who you are, but you're a more refined version of it, generally speaking. So you've got a greater understanding, and you're at ease, and I'm surrounded by great people that inform me, and I'm like, I used to be very steadfast on my positions on things, and like, well, this is the hell I'm going to die on. I know little to fuck all about it, but I've got my stance on this, and I'll just hammer away at it. And Anna's great. She just drove multiple bulldozers through that, and now I'm a bit more pliable.
Yeah.
And I think that enables me to then sit there, and I don't have to agree with you on anything. Like, it's like, I'm not going to argue with you about why I feel this way and you feel that way. You clearly feel that way, but I can give you some insights or opinions as to why I feel this way, and you might resonate with them, and then as a result of that, maybe change the way that you think. So we always talk about it, particularly because of the poor mental fitness rate of most men across the globe, not just New Zealand. And someone's like, "Oh man, I'm having a tough time." Oh man, it's okay to be not okay, and it is. But instead of providing me with the problem, show me a solution, or give me an example as to what you're doing. So when someone goes, "Hey guys, you make such a difference to my mental fitness," it's because we've said, if you're not doing well, first thing you should probably do is cut the piss, get more sleep, do some exercise with a friend, and then if you've tried all of that, well, maybe look at your other options. But generally speaking, you do those four and you're fucking pretty good pretty quick. And it's like,
practice what you preach. There's one thing saying it, right?
Yeah. I know when I'm at my best, and I know what gets me at my best, and I know when I'm not feeling good, and I know exactly why I'm not feeling good. It turns out that stringing together Wednesday through to Sunday is not great. Isn't great,
Yeah.
You
Just had to double check though.
Yeah. On a weekly basis.
Same as last time.
Yeah. Good. Still, that's not good.
Turns
for me.
out last month, same as this one.
Yeah.
But those sort of examples are ones that we've learnt from. We soak them up, and Dunk's really good. Like, Dunk is as you are, Cantabrian, white. Just straight down the middle there, just bloody this, that, and the other. But he's not that. Like, you look at him and he is just such a simple but complex individual. He's got a Māori wife, and that is something that, traditionally hasn't been something that's been overly adopted by people of the South Island because of their lack of interaction with Māoridom and the way that they see it and perceive it. I went to like immersion school, so I speak to my kids as much in Māori as I do in English, and like we connect on a whole bunch of those. We live on the land of Ngāti Whātua, and I'm completely conscious of that, and I love it. The connection that I get I'm not Māori at all, but I am from Aotearoa. Like I assimilate into the environment in which I am. I love the ocean, and I love the whenua, and I love being in the ngahere. I love being in the bush, and I love everything that goes with it. And I know how lucky we are to have it. And if you haven't travelled, generally don't understand. So people that don't travel don't get the resonance with the land and the people that were here before us, because we just like to divide and conquer and build a bigger fucking fence and say, this is mine and not yours, stay out.
Geez, so if you should think about
We've
getting
wound
your
him
own
up now.
podcast. No wonder
You just give him a couple of
But
cranks.
also, because I was going to say earlier on, but there's no wonder because you've got your radio show every day, and then not for radios. It's not for radio almost every day.
Yeah,
4 out of 5
Four,
days.
yeah. So it's probably really good for you that you've got hours to just let this stuff out.
Do you see how punishing it is when we have a month-long
Do you
break
remember
and
what
it cops it?
Do you remember what the question was?
Nah. No.
To be fair, Dunk, neither do I.
Dunk will though.
Yeah, no, Dunk.
Yeah.
Oh, Dunk, what was what was the
It
question?
was something to do with, are we role models?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's exactly what it was.
If they're still listening, you might have done something right.
Yeah, the eyes have glazed. I've fucking driven out in front of a logging truck.
I just, you know what, I love it because quite often my mum, Jo Kane, wonderful woman, she will listen to Kiwi Yarns out, and we've got like behind the back of the house, we call it the abyss. It's not a shed, but it's under the house, but it's attached to the house. You could make it like an extra room, but it needs some. If you're gonna make it
instantly I was like, he makes it a grow room. I'm like a sex dungeon. Yeah, that's where we operate, you know.
So all I'm doing is I'm picturing Mum, because she's endlessly cleaning the abyss. The abyss is always, a work in progress. I'm just imagining her listening to this episode. Anyway, before I move on a little bit, the being good husbands.
Yes.
We've talked about the mahi you put into being parents and raising boys. What are some of the key attributes to being a good husband, a good partner, and the things that you work on in your relationships to make sure that you are?
Mine would be simple. Mine would be listen, and have a great open communication. Like you're the same with Anna, eh? Just we talk things out, like almost to the point. Well, Dixie, how it normally works is I get home from work and I can't be bothered talking. We'll get the kids down and stuff, and then Dixie, who at the moment hasn't seen a lot of adults during the day, will be like, and then I sit there and I do what I was doing then. Like I just sit there and listen, process, and then we thrash it out. And I think if you're lucky enough to be in a marriage where your parenting styles are aligned, you've almost got a massive head start. Like I can't imagine living in a marriage where there's friction based on parenting styles, whereas we, in the communication, we'll thrash things out and then we figure out the plan and then we put the goals in place and then we talk about what we're going to do tomorrow on the problem, next week, in 2 months, and then something else will pop up. But yeah, I would just say listen and communicate and then do what you said you were going to do.
Yeah, it's very different for me. It's just similar to Dunk. So I know when I get home what I get. I get what we call, Luke Combs termed it, and it's the greatest term ever, front door famous. The door goes open, the boys come running out, fucking Dad, yeah. And Anna's I get them in the morning, because I get up with them in the morning, and they're awesome. They're rested and refreshed, and they're fed, and we take them off to school, and it's mellow. Anna gets them at the tough part of the day. They've been at school, they've been through all the trials and tribulations of what it is to be a prepubescent kid. And they come home and they're shitty and they stink like a bag of fucking rations, and then they need to do homework and it's hot and I can't be bothered, and can you just have a shower? I don't want to have a shower. Like, she gets that. And so on top of that, when she walks through the door, she could at any one day get pure silence, or me coming in whistling, or me going, hey, we should buy a castle in Wales because there's more castles in Wales than anywhere else in the world, so that makes them dramatically cheaper. Or we've got this option on this land, Parkety, which it's been banned from
I've
our
heard
house.
this. I've
still
heard the
going.
Parkety story.
Yeah, Parkety's banned. But
Is Parkety parked?
no, for purposes of this podcast, I'm going to say yes, because Anna will probably listen to it. But get excited is all I'm going to say. I know I am. And so she never knows what's coming through the door, whereas I am consistently greeted by a smiling face and an I love you and a hug and embrace and a kiss and all of those things. So it's a safe space for me. And she provides it. So what I try and do in return is give her the space and the softness to be her, because she's in a house full of boys and she doesn't get the breaks that I get, and she doesn't get probably the credit that she has deserved, because she's always there, and it's easier to duck in and duck out and become that front door famous thing. But I think for us, the communication which Dunk talked about, but we are a couple as well as parents, and we are lovers, and we are partiers, and we like shit, like we like our things that we like, and we like to eat at nice places, and we love experiences, and we love to travel and all those other bits and pieces, and sometimes it's with the kids and sometimes it's not with the kids, but at the same time it's I know you could go back to the old adage of, men are pretty simple creatures. You just need to feed them and fuck them, and then they're pretty sweet. That's pretty much how it works.
The same thing.
Yeah. Which is
think of sex like another steak meal for a meal. Keep them happy. I was like, Nana, whoa, it's pretty funny.
I mean,
she was known as the butcher. Gave out a lot of steak. But and there's almost like it's what we've spoken about. Like, this is something that the other day I realised. Have a notepad or something that you can write on in the kitchen where you often leave before we come into work, and just write something nice so it's there. Because often you think it and you'll be like, wow, where's a pen, where's a paper? Fuck it, I don't have time and peel out. But those little moments, sporadically mean a lot to your partner. And at the same time, the sporadic moments of intimacy that you get that are generally driven by, because I could, at the drop of a hat, if I see Anna taking her shoes off, I'm like, fuck, are we on? I'm working angles. And she's like, I'm just taking my shoes off. And so there's a whole bunch of
taking off wet weather gear, I'm like, fuck, yeah, we could be on it.
Yeah. So anything, yeah. Like a
hazmat suit. Yeah, could be on it. There's a zip on
anything, yeah. Just whatever. Just hands and knees cleaning a toilet, looks over her shoulder. I'm like, this could be on. And so those.
There's a better chance if you're the one cleaning the toilet.
Exactly.
And so those sort of things, that you create those intimate moments, because generally speaking, as simple as it does sound in the way that Duncan's grandmother put it, as we are really, really simple creatures, but we don't do ourselves any favours by not fostering those parts. And that's when relationships break down, I think. From what I've observed, is that your kids get to a certain age, and then you, as a female, are no longer the one that's rushing around, and then you get a chance to become yourself again. And then if you haven't had a relationship with your partner where you feel like you are cherished and loved, then that's when you start joining whatever groups of people that are in the same sort of setup as you, and you go out and you get a bit of attention, and you're like, well, fucking mum's still got it, and then maybe you are just going to go and jerk someone off in a toilet and then ruin your relationship, But if you have that, if you have that solid connection with your partner and an intimate connection with your partner, and you feel loved and cherished, then when you come out of those phases of parenting, and both on male and female, you're still you as a couple, because I think that a lot of people lose themselves into their kids, and I've got to run around bloody Barry to ice hockey, and Sarah's got dancing and this, that, and the other thing. You become an Uber service, you become Uber Eats, and then you are exhausted and there's just nothing left of you. So I think it's important, and we talk about it often. Like, I've got my AA weekends that I go away with the boys, and I've got my interests that she doesn't share. Like, Anna, going to the Warriors for Anna's not great unless there's a corporate box involved, she's not going to, she'll come to the Rock 2000, but she needs to turn up with some mates and she needs to be backstage. That's, we just operate in different spheres, which is sweet. She doesn't like fishing. She doesn't even eat fish. I'm not allowed fucking fish in the house. But I love that. She's got no interest in going hunting. She just got no real interest in going on big hikes. Like, it's just not her cup of tea. She would much rather have, instead of cup of tea, have a glass of something if it's alcoholic and shop.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't like shopping.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
So what do you, peeling it back to you're this beautiful, as I said at the start, this really beautiful, infectious bromance that you project out and people have the privilege of hearing every day. And I'm sure that the privilege of doing what you do is not lost on you. What do you like most about each other? What's your favourite thing that you like about Dunc, Jay?
It's the sex. No, sorry.
Oh, fucking
I love seeing professionals and the people who are at the top of their game. Like I love seeing amazing golfers strike great balls. I love seeing architects design amazing houses. I love seeing practitioners of health do incredible stuff. Like I love being around people that are the best of the best of the best of the best. Because I watched somebody back a launch into a marina and I'm like, fuck, that's sick. Like I get excited by those things. And I get that every day sitting across from Dunc because in my eyes, he is the best of the best. And I get to see that in operation. I sit there and just like, fuck, this is epic. Like I get to be in the presence of greatness on a daily basis. And fuck, we have a good time and we laugh like endlessly.
We're very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, so our cups are, like I miss him when, like we don't hang out a hell of a lot outside of the show because we spend 8 hours with each other a day. And when we do, like we had an awesome trip over to Melbourne. We linked up in Melbourne. We've had a couple of good sessions with the lads here off the backs of things. And it is great when we hang out. But for the most part, it's just like in this personal, professional capacity where I just get to see him at full flight and I'm in the front row seats for it. I've got VIP access to the greatest of the great. That's what I like about Dunc.
See, you probably got a little bit of it there, but I reckon one of Jay's greatest assets and the thing that is most
saying something that could be said in a sentence in fucking 3.5 hours.
But Jay's ability to look through, and we've talked about Jay getting frustrated, but like I reckon Jay's superpowers, you've got two of them, is the ability to look through life through rose-tinted lenses. Like, where he says that really nice stuff, and I was like, we've still got fucking work to do. We're not the best we can be, is where my head's at. Like, we're pretty good, but there's still a lot of meat left on the bone for us to be better, is how I view the exact same thing he was just talking about. But Jay will, like, people want to be around Jay. Jay's infectious. Like, Jay's the guy, if he drops dead tomorrow, they'll be like, Jay just lit up a room. Like, I spend more time with Jay than anybody else, and I could spend more time with him. You know, like, you can never spend enough time with Jay because he's...
That's a beautiful thing to hear. It really is.
And then watching Jay operate and he can operate with like a patched gang member and find common ground with a patched gang member and 2 seconds later bump into a billionaire friend and find common ground. Like, that's his second superpower, which is just amazing, which is why he's such a great connector of people and networker. And I enjoy watching that just as much as what you enjoy me nerding out on the craft of radio and podcasting, because you're that good at it. And it's enjoyable to be around. Really enjoyable.
That's great. I was pleased to witness that. Now, you work for The Rock. Is there a favourite rock star that you've ever been in company with? Or a rock star's overrated?
No, not at all. Some of them are... I mean, like...
I didn't mean in terms of their craft, but like meeting rock stars, you know?
I'd say that both of us would be unashamed fans of Dave Grohl, just like regardless of whether you like his music or not. He is a really captivating person to be around. And Taylor Hawkins was exactly the same. And
Taylor was you kind of knew Taylor was a lot like Dave, but we ended up interviewing Taylor a few times, and he's just the like Jay, big bundle of energy, just so much fun. I think we rang him once during the COVID. For those that don't know, drummer of the Foo Fighters, no longer with us, rest in peace. I think we rang him once in COVID, and it was it was quite a big birthday, and he was just sitting in his hammock at his house in where was that, buddy? Where the Kardashians live?
Yeah, up in like Calabasas.
Calabasas.
Yeah.
He's sitting in his hammock looking at the view, pounding a beer by himself, talking to us in New Zealand, and he was just fucking so nice and normal and energetic. Jay was talking to him about my boys, saying, you know, they were a lot younger then. Duncan got 3 boys. He's like, fucking dude, when your boys are 16, your house is going to reek like fucking lynx and cum. And I was like, you know what? He's right.
Yeah.
It was just, he was great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the year. I mean, there's so many. And it's hard because unless you spend a long amount of time chatting to them, you don't ever really get to know the person. Whereas Dave Grohl he gives you exactly what you need. He knows the craft and what his job is to promote his band, and you get the best fucking content out of him. And that's really enjoyable. Then you can have other interviews that you go, oh, what bits are we going to pull from that? Because it's not going to be that entertaining for the radio show, but as a long-form chat could be really insightful and you could get a lot out of it. Like Josh Homme from Queens of Stone Age is one of those. Like he's probably the most cool and rock and roll fucking person there is, hands down. Then no one comes close to him, like, and he's just a dude. And we've had him be really, really serious. I think he wrote a whole album after he almost died on the operating table after like a knee surgery. And it was quite a dark album, and the interview was quite dark as well. Then we've had him be fucking... Was it his dog walking in on him that he kept telling to... we opened up, it was a Google Meet or something like that. We opened it up, he's like, fuck off, not you guys again. That was how the interview started. So he was super fun. Yeah, there's all... Yeah, we like different rock stars for different reasons, I guess. You kind of don't know what one you're going to get and we just do our best to prepare, same as you do for the interview, and make sure the conversation flows and that you can get a bit that's going to clip up well on, for the internet. You're going to get a great bit that's going to sound good in the trailer. You're going to sell some fucking tickets for this show and hopefully get something out of it being completely selfish for yourself at the same time.
I think, and even like domestically too, because everyone always thinks offshore, but like Damien and Sheldon from Blind Spot are just 2 of the greatest humans. Like if you think, like, have you had Sheldon on?
I haven't had Sheldon, but I'm very privileged to call him Damien. I call him Jack.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend. I'm actually going, when we're recording this, Homegrown is this weekend.
Yes.
And I'm going to, not only my first Homegrown, but my first time seeing Damien, a.k.a. Jack, live, which I'm so excited about.
Amazing. He is a fucking master of being a front man.
Yeah.
They're just both fucking G's. Like, they are epic. And you will have your mind blown. And they, Shelton in particular, is like a plutonium rod, and he powers cities when he is in them. Like he's that much energy. He's crazy. But and probably the unsung, like Booger Beasley from Head Like a Hole, just one of like, he would probably be one of our favourite. If we ever get the opportunity to talk to him, I could ring him right now and he would have you in stitches just by recounting what he's done during the day. Like, he is that funny.
He made having a stroke sound funny.
It's like fun.
Very difficult to do.
Yeah,
but it was very funny.
And like Nail from Devilskin is just one of the, like, you look at him and he's like melting faces and shredding with a guitar and a big red beard and a skinhead and like the loveliest guy you ever meet. Like, and John Toogood's been an idol of mine, and all of She Has been an idol of mine forever. And like, it was one of the first albums that I probably ever owned, and to know them and see the progression, and like we're so lucky and spoilt for choice with the musicians that we've got here. And some of the worst interviews I've had with musicians have been domestic stars who are up to fuck all and for whatever reason think that they're wicked. And I'm like, mate, I'm trying to help you here. I'm not the talent. Like, probably that's the other thing that for our show, we're not the talent in an interview. We are the plate in which the meal is served upon. Like, we could be anything. It's about trying to give you the audience that you deserve and display you in a way that is applicable and seems delicious to our audience. That's the mentality that we operate with.
Interpret this question however you like. When do you feel the most like a rock star?
Oh, it's the front door famous thing. Do you know what? I couldn't give a fuck if there was never another video that got released of us, if we never got ratings in, if I never saw another podcast download number. Yes, I like it because it's a measure of achievement, in particular because the podcast downloads are real. but I didn't get into radio or this job for any of that shit. And if I had a choice, I wouldn't. That's a byproduct of this job. If I had a choice, I'd be like, it'd be a flat fucking no from me. But to answer your question, probably at the Rock 2000. But I don't actually enjoy it that much. Like walking on stage in front of the air and there's fucking 7,000 screaming. Like, it's cool, but it's not my thing.
I think in terms of feeling what it would feel like to be a rock star, that is probably the closest. That Rhythm and Vine's 35,000 people, that was pretty special. Like that, to be walking out in front of 35,000 people just ahead of the countdown. She had just finished. Carl Cox was about to play. I was absolutely hissing. Like it was one of the greatest moments of my life in terms of being there, and you can see why people do it.
Yeah.
And you can see why people do other things to try and supplement the feeling that you get there, and it's the chasing of the dragon. I think in terms of probably answering the question as to what you were after, we walked out of the Empire State Building and someone walked past and was like, oh my God, I'm listening to Not For Radio podcast. That's a big deal. I shook the hands of firefighters today and every single one of them said they listened to the podcast.
That was part. Being on the other side of the world and having someone that listens to something that we create together. That would be it for me, actually. And I don't mind that. That's a one-on-one interaction.
Yeah.
I don't crave a big crowd in front of me or any like at all. No. Like I say, I'd rather not do that. But that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Walking out of the Empire State Building on the other side of the planet, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" You're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Yeah, getting stopped and having photos in the customs area in Sydney Airport where you're not allowed to have your phones out by the customs people. That's when you go.
Rockstar.
That's when you go, that's crazy. But it's not even, it's the rock star. It's like with the resonate. It's the resonance of what we are doing. And you're just like, I never would have picked, like Dunk's sister, Bridget, who is like, I'm not say she's like straight laced, but like she's pretty straight laced, and she consumes every second of our podcast. Or we had a kid come up to us in Waimumu at the field days, and he was 12 years old and like just a great young southern man, came up by himself and was like, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself and shake your hands, and I love the podcast. And we're like, hoping that it's the Rock Drive Show podcast. And he's like, no, not for radio. And we're like, oh God, this is pretty spicy. And then we've got part of the 2 episodes are free, 2 episodes behind the paywall. The paywall people are called Sniper Elite. And he's like, yeah, I'm Sniper Elite. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, what's it? And he's like, yeah, man, my mum and dad got me onto you guys. I'm like, oh, I love the fact that, I mean, it's concerning, but I mean, that sort of stuff lights me up more than anything. And that's the interaction and probably more so feeds into our ego of making a plan and the plan executing and then it actually having the result of the execution, because then it validates what we thought would happen. Because if we're like, well, let's go after this international market, and then we turn up and all of our downloads are in New Zealand, you're like, well, we're building an export product that nobody's wanting to export. You know, like,
there's no market for it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably it.
Before I get onto the Kiwi Yarns quick fire questions, is this the kind of like if you don't want to answer this question because it's not your mindset, I won't be offended. Where do you see yourselves in 20 years' time?
Hopefully still alive. Would be fucking great.
How old will we be there?
I'll be 63. Not far off a free bus. I'd say in 20 years' time, I would be, to dive in, would be my boys at this. Everything gets back to where my boys will be in that phase of their life. So I would say in 20 years' time, my boys will be 32. Being twins, that's for those people that aren't aware, like fucking your kids the same age. Yep, they're identical twins. So at that stage in their life, there's a possibility that they'll be in a relationship where they're looking at having a family. So I want to be around, and I want to be my body moving in a place where I can be the granddad that my dad is to our boys, and that our friends of that age are to our kids. That I want to be that, but I also want to have wrapped up working long before this and be doing projects that actually special interest projects, or helping startups, or offering advice, consultation work, and have lots and lots of travel, and hopefully a Northern Hemisphere which still exists in that time. Like I've always said I've wanted to live on a 60-foot catamaran, sail around the Med, and just experience cultures at a length where you assimilate into them and learn to speak Spanish and learn to speak Italian, and like actually hang out and do that cool shit that I didn't get to do because I went through teaching into MTV. I travelled the world, but never stayed there longer than a week or 2 weeks. And most of the time I was hammered.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, whatever it was, like how they, like 42 Below called Keith Richards, drunk all over the world.
Okay, good. Dunk?
So I'm more meat and 3 veg. I just
Yeah.
go, I want to be, my kids will probably most likely will be starting to have kids, or be, maybe 1 or 2 of them will have kids by then. I want to be, if I'm lucky enough to be close to them, would be amazing. That's something my parents haven't had because all the kids moved away, and being able to be, like Jay said, just an amazing grandparent, and being able to spend time doing those things, like, still, if they're still playing sports or whatever, turn up to the grandkids' sports. Then also having like it would be amazing to have a batch in a special location where they want to go to, and they want to have, the long summer break at, and a little boat. Hopefully I'll be doing a lot of fishing and slowing down. Like the simple shit. I don't know, get into growing friggin' marrows or something, even though I don't eat them.
I thought that was going to be marrows.
I think
Stop.
there was
I envisage it being far slower than what Jay's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Country Calendar. It's the greatest television show in the world. Bar none.
I was going to say, don't disagree. Gosh, the pictures they shoot on that.
That'll be the last thing that survives on TVNZ. There'll be one program on there.
I would happily.
And it'll be, everyone will tune in on terrestrial TV for the live, of Country Calendar will go out. That'll be the last program that goes out, I reckon. It's that solid. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'll be the first to be in a crowdfunding round for that, to just make sure that alone just keeps going. But there was a guy who was in his 70s farming a back block, which basically backs onto Te Uruwera's, and it's a big sheep station. I think it's like 1,700 hectares, which is a relatively decent sort of thing for him and his wife, who is similar age, to be running. And their son's just come back and he's helping them out. But he's 73, and he goes, just don't let the fucking old man in. That's how you keep going. Just don't let him in. He'll be at the door. Don't let him in. And there's a song about it as well. But I've heard Clint Eastwood say the same thing, and he's like, just don't let the old man in. He's always going to be there, but just don't let him in. I love that because I've got a very, I don't know. Anna tries to dress me like an adult. I like what I like, and it doesn't always make sense. And I don't make great decisions. I make a lot of terrible decisions, but as a result of that, I lead a magical life, and I don't want that to change. I don't want to settle down and I don't know. Bert Kreischer is another one. He's like, I want to keep my body in a position where I can always drink. I want to be able to. I want to be in a position. I want to be healthy enough where I can keep partying.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like if I went green smoothies and fucking yoga classes and beans out, I'd die.
Yeah. I just like the fucking exceptional juxtapositions here. But like you kind of I think everyone can yearn for both as well.
Yeah.
I'm sort of that way, but then sometimes I'm like, oh no, I'm Team Dunk for a minute, but no, then I lurch back to Jay. I love it. I'm going to give you your Kiwi Yarns quickfire questions. Question number 1: what kai is on the menu for your final feed, aka death row meal?
Hawaiian pizza, because I know Jay will fucking hate it.
Fuck off. You need a different answer because that's so shit. That is so bad. There is no fucking way you're having a Hawaiian pizza, you piece of shit.
I swear, a Hawaiian burger then.
Is that rage bait? Are you rage baiting him?
I do like Hawaiian stuff. Now I'll go fish tacos.
Okay.
Just because I don't want him to pop a blood vessel up here.
That instantly raged me out.
Yeah.
I would say a spread of everything that is great in relaxed dining by Al Brown. Like just everything across the board. Everything that he does in a non-formal way. These are meant to be quick fire. I'll shut the fuck up. That's great.
Good on you. If I gave you a magic wand to change one thing in Aotearoa, what would it be? You can go deep. You don't have to go deep. You can.
I think that there will be. I think the disparity in the way that everyone gets to enjoy this country. I think that there is a lot of incredible people that work incredibly hard and don't get what they want. I also think there is a lot of people that do fuck all and ask for a lot out of the country.
Just wouldn't it be nice if everyone started the race of life on the start line together?
Shit, that's a good one.
Great way of saying
answer. That is a fantastic answer. Favourite Kiwi artist or song? You guys would have so much, but if there's a song that just comes to you quickly, or an artist that just, you know?
Trinity Roots, Homeland and Sea is a cracking one. And I recently have been listening to it's what's it called? Sweet Division, and it's got the singer from Fat Freddy's. I don't know, I'm blanking on his name. It's just popped up in a recent one. But yeah, Homeland and Sea by Trinity Roots is just one of those magical songs that always makes, if I'm overseas, brings me to tears pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go like randomly, not that randomly, David Dallas. Yeah.
Anything by David Dallas.
Anything by David Dallas. Is it Rose Tinted Glasses, that album? Rose Tinted something.
Rose Tinted.
It was just Rose Tinted, yeah. Fuck, that's a great album. And Wax Mustang, holy shit. I saw him live again last year. We both did. Yeah. And I brought some of my Christchurch mates who had no idea who he was. And he is the most electric son of a bitch on stage of all time.
He is a national treasure.
Oh, my gosh.
I love it.
Yeah.
Where would you love to go in Aotearoa that you haven't been?
The Catlins, Wairarapa.
Where have I not been? I haven't been to the Catlins, so I'm going to have to say that. And Stewart Island. Probably the only two places I'm done.
Yeah. Catlins is one of mine. Stewart Island is so cool when you can get down there. It's just...
is it Ahipara right at the top?
Yeah.
I haven't made it there yet.
Go around the points, mega.
Now, last question. You're stranded on the Auckland Islands. In particular, Disappointment Island. What are the 5 things you're taking to avoid being disappointed whilst stranded?
Obviously, your family and friends are taken out of this. Are these just physical things?
This is always a good read of character. How much you guys try to unpack it. I
would love to take a spear fishing kit.
Yep.
Just because that would be super, super fun. I would love to take some form of music with me.
Do we need to be able to carry these things? Because you could take a house and you'd be quite comfortable on the Auckland Disappointment Island.
Yeah.
No, I want to have a real, because I've always thought of myself as the ability to last and survivor, and this is a real, this will take it,
Absolutely not.
That would be spare fishing gear, a collection of music.
Fuck, you'll have gout in like a week.
Yeah. And then,
take two like 2 cows and they can
like a Gosney pizza oven. That'd be fucking sick over there.
Survivor with Jay Reeve.
It's the same as normal Survivor, except he's got all the comforts from his home.
And hopefully there's waves there, so a surfboard would have to be in the mixer as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking cold in the Auckland Islands, so I'd need a wetsuit probably.
Okay. I love it. Dunk?
I could probably use my dive wetsuit. I'll keep one up my sleeve, Knife and fire starting shit probably.
Family, friends, food, fishing, fucking.
Yeah. Selfish.
Alliteration. I love it.
Just puts his family in the
Frangers.
shit. So you don't have more fucking kids.
More kids. They'll be difficult to feed, otherwise I need to do too much fishing if there is such a thing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Hey, so obviously just so that people can know, so Not For Radio is in the same whānau now as Kiwi Yarns. So you've got the...
You have to come on and do an episode with us.
Yeah. Because I can go, you know me, I can be a professional journalist that interview people, and I can be a sniper elite. I can be the sniper elites. Yeah.
Can we just, and we are, obviously it goes without saying, just massive fans of yours. And just how you operate. How you operate, your level of professionalism. And I think that it was highlighted in the standing that it should be taken in when you and Laz did the awards recently. Like, that was just absolutely world class. And I think that it's incredibly tough to be great in those roles. It's infinitely more tougher, for whatever reason, to be a great female in those roles, because for whatever reason the viewing public go, well, fucking I could do better than that, and females in particular are like, well, why she thinks she's so fucking good. Like, from the outside looking in, I just think that you are just elite in every aspect, and I love seeing you smile, and I love seeing you succeed, and I love this new phase of life that you're moving into. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what 2026 has in store for you.
Can I also throw in there, before you respond as well, I just want to acknowledge the amount of hard work it has taken to get to where you are now. Like, people can be like, oh, the podcast is massive and Brody's been on TV and Brody's done radio and stuff, but you had a fucking tough time of it. And I know, because of what the industries are like, how much grinding you've had to do, and probably some soul searching along the way, and then figuring out how to run your own business and doing everything yourself. So to get you to this point, and we have been for the last 3 years, or to get yourself there, has just been like an immensely awesome watch that I'm so proud of, because I know the work that would have gone into that. Most people would fucking give up. Like, it is an enormous amount of hard work to get to where you are now. So well done.
We adore you. Absolutely adore you.
I'm actually just going to keep it short and say thank you, and then I'm going to come and sit in the middle and go, that was Kiwi Yarns. We'll see you next week.